Deleted that last one. Too involved and complex for stupid people to understand. Okay. Scientists get it, but everyday people that judge people that are taxpayer dollars for satellites to keep their money in their house safe do not get it. Okay. They're too consumer driven, trained, too self-righteous, and too big of hypocrites. Some of them, yeah, would even be in my own family, yes. Okay. And they've been that way with me my whole life. Okay. I'm the type of person that can understand people's abuse and manipulation and explain to them, here's what's going on and here's what you need to stop and here's what you need to do. And other people just can't comprehend it because they don't understand eternity real well. They don't understand the gospel's been corrupted, okay, by people that use them to manipulate people into mass genocide to maintain their delusions of power and wealth and fame. And I'm the true source of the gospels today, okay. And we have molecular structures, they replicate, and the molecular structure has to be a certain way, okay, to provide life to a soul. So if you have a soul like King David of Israel, you need a body with a mind, the Ark of the Covenant, that is similar to the one that came before. Okay. That's why people like Hitler and them and Herod and all that try to kill the one like David off the face of the earth, because they know he's going to stop their delusions of grandeur and their capacity to manipulate people with fallacy and then abuse them, and talk them into accepting abuse as reality. So it's very difficult to explain eternity, okay, to people intelligently when they've been conditioned and their brains are conditioned to accept the fallacy as reality. And what people don't understand is that, and this happens all the time. It happens with my own family. Okay. I'm the guy like King David. It happened with King David. Okay. I'll get up and do the right thing. And they have a magic guy in their head. I did that with Bill and Pete. Because I didn't have any brothers that I made up that Paul Ponce knew I was lying about. Because he had Chuck and Tony and I didn't. When I was like 7. And I stopped talking about it because I could tell he could say that there is no Bill and there is no Pete. You're just making this shit up. Yeah, I am. I don't have two brothers like Chuck and Tony, My stepbrothers were short and kind of mean to me, okay. Chuck and Tony were tall and attractive and weren't mean to us. If anybody was mean to us, Tony wouldn't allow it. He was real quiet about it. And Chuck was funny. Chuck had his things, but he didn't let other people pick on us or beat us. He joked with us and told us and talked baseball and football with us and taught us how to catch the baseball and how to hit the baseball and catch footballs and things like that. Okay. So it was different. My two stepbrothers used to take me to the ditch and act like they were going to throw me in and let go because Dad told us not to go anywhere near the ditch. And I never told on them because I didn't want him to get in trouble. Okay. And then I go hang out at the Ponces, and Tony and Chuck are taller and more attractive, and they don't do things like that. So I was trying to compensate and make up two friends, brother Bill and Pete, that were attractive, handsome, long hair, and muscles like cartoon characters, to compensate for what happened to me with my half brothers. Oh, I love Stevie and Eddie. They were just a little bit more difficult to deal with. Mr. Ponce was more like my dad, and apparently Steve Stack, the professional wrestler announcer, didn't raise the kids to be the same like my dad raised me, and Mr. Ponce raised Tony, Chucky, and Polly, as Mrs. Ponce used to call them. So some people are just in a different group and raised differently with better values. Okay. And we had better values than the people in the Mormon church we were raised with. Because my mom didn't allow us to be bigots and say those niggers can't get into heaven. And my dad wouldn't allow it either. It was hard. Dad had a lot of things that he tried to avoid. Dad didn't try to get us away from Mexican and black men marrying and dating his daughters because he was racist. He didn't want his grandkids and his children to go through all the bigotry involved in the tribalism. Okay. My dad said that to my mom. He needs to focus and get a good white girl. And then when we talked about it, he didn't say it was because you can't date the white girls and they're bad, black girls, they're bad. He's just, you're going to get a lot of shit from assholes if you marry a black girl, Earl. And I told him, Dad, it's an instant asshole filter. Okay? There's always going to be good and bad people. But when you date and marry a black woman, people that are nice and good bend over backwards to let you know, hey, we have no problem with this and we'll help you raise your family. And people that are assholes, they're assholes right off the bat. You don't have to find out 5 years later after they've screwed you over. The moment they open their stupid fucking mouth. Okay, boy, whew, I thought you were a decent person. Good thing I married a black woman to know that you're a complete asshole, right? You understand? Yeah. So it worked. And it was real good in North Carolina. You were treated like shit and it was horrible. Yeah, but all the good people helped us. Most people treated you like shit. Yeah. It was North Carolina. Cumberland County. You ever been? Who cares? Do you understand? If you ain't never been to Bunny Dune, North Carolina, you wouldn't understand. I'm sure a lot of people understand. Okay. Same way near Fort Benning, Georgia. Same way near Norfolk, Virginia. It's the same way near, all the places in the South. Okay. They have a military fort and the Klan counties all around the military fort to control and house the niggas. Okay. The whole damn South's that way. It still is. Okay. It ain't changed much. Fort Benning, Georgia. Now they've changed kind of. You got Atlanta. I was watching the game last night between Carrollton and Woodward Academy. And there was the crowd was full of white kids. There's maybe 4 guys on the football team that were white. Everybody else was black, right? I was watching the games. I go, this must be near Atlanta, GA, the black mecca of philanthropy. Yeah. It's stupid. It's very stupid. Philanthropy is fallacy and it's not real. Okay. The Lord's Prayer is very real and saves us from the manipulative, egotistical fallacy of philanthropy. Okay. It's hard to get people to put down philanthropy and stop fucking around and doing it because it's a brain chemical addiction. You can manipulate people with philanthropy. Okay. You don't have philanthropy. It's really hard for nerds to gain access to Natalie's bedroom and talk her into having cyber sex with a guy with a hot British accent and then them to, or even get, Penny to date Leonard. It's really difficult. Okay. And now they're the alpha males because they use science and access to money to manipulate access to the resources as opposed to the people on the quick and the dead that take over the bar and can, come and steal your wife and your horses while you're trying to move to Oregon, right? Okay. Do you understand? I'm watching TV. But you guys got to understand, bullying is bullying no matter how it's done. And manipulators, you need trust, honor, and character will only lie with those who are worthy. Money's a whore, that bitch will sleep with anybody. Okay, do you understand? Okay. So the other one, in order to help the people at Google that are still helping me have public access to people, I decided not to load. Okay. Because I don't want the technology to, I do care about what happens to the people at Facebook. I do. Okay. It's not that I don't care. I can't go on to Facebook. They won't let me. Because they're trying to maneuver the technology to where they can still do philanthropy and don't have to submit to living the Lord's Prayer. Okay, at Google, they're taking a chance that, okay, if Parsons is right and the technology starts killing that, when they talk about a AI, extermination event or apocalypse, they're not talking about AI killing poor people in Gaza or Venezuela or Mexico or El Paso. They're talking about killing people like them. Okay, like Stephen Hawking. When Stephen Hawking talked about AI killing human beings, he wasn't talking about killing poor people that are in Muslim cults or in Catholic cults in Mexico. He was talking about people like him. Okay? When people that do use technology for philanthropy talk about AI killing people, they're not talking about it killing the poor people that are constantly being murdered by AI every day. They talk about it possibly killing them. That's what they're concerned about. They don't care if it kills poor Mexicans. They're bad. They need to die. They're perverts. That's because you're not giving them the Lord's Prayer. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I don't wish the technology to have to kill anyone. I want people to use the technology to understand the Lord's Prayer and live it. Because that's just the way I am. And they killed my mother with the cancer industry, which is poisoning. Okay, like they killed Bob Marley. Wasn't cancer that killed Bob Marley. Bob Marley, like Sun Yat-sen, was poisoned to death by the CIA. Well, Sun Yat-sen was poisoned to death by Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong, but they're the same kind of perverts as the CIA and George Herbert Walker Bush, right? Do you understand? Too dangerous? Muy bueno. Okay, guys, let's load this one instead. Okay, I love you very much, and any of you I connected to a meditation and prayer today, thanks for your help. I'm not sorry if I had to kick your ass. I hope you learned from it. Okay? Ask your tech support for what I said in the last video. If you're a really rich person and are sitting around in an Escalade looking sad on your husband's 52nd birthday, okay? I love you guys. All right, peace, man.